Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on Donovan Mitchell's third signature sneaker with Adidas, the D.O.N Issue 3. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the D.O.N Issue 3 features a spider web like traction pattern with some, semi-translucent portions as well as solid portions. So up in the forefoot and the heel, you do have like these little patches of solid rubber, where everywhere else is pretty much this milky semi-translucent rubber. And the traction on this shoe, for the most part, I would say it is pretty good. There definitely were some times where I slid and I actually slipped up. I'm not exactly sure what the cause of that was, and that was whether it was on, clean courts or dusty courts. It really didn't matter. It was a little inconsistent in that, but I'm going to say that the slip-ups did happen very, very rarely, but they did happen. But outside of that, honestly, the traction was pretty good. Besides the slip-ups, I would say that the bite is pretty solid. You have a fairly hard stop. And then, in terms of the dust pickup, you will have to wipe. Like, you can actually see some dust still collected on here after a lot of wiping. So just keep that in mind. If you are playing on your dustier courts, you will want to wipe off because the traction does pick up the dust. However, after you do wipe, you should be good for a little while. Overall, I want to say that the traction is good, but there were those very, very rare slip-ups that you do have to be mindful about. Outside of that, I would say overall that the traction in here is pretty good. So moving on to the cushion, the D.O.N Issue 3 features a full-length light strike midsole, and it is partially caged on the lateral side by this like rubber piece right here. However, on the medial side, it is fully uncaged. And basically what you're gonna get is exactly what you would expect from Light Strike nowadays. In this shoe, it is a thicker piece of Light Strike in the heel, and it thins out towards the forefoot, which is pretty common for basketball shoes. And in the heel, you have a decent amount of impact protection. You do get a little bit of bounce, and as we move towards the forefoot, you are getting a thinner cushion, so you are getting more responsiveness. I would say this is similar to bounce, but just not as dense. And I guess like not as bouncy because it's not as dense, but it's pretty good. I definitely felt like some better implementations of Light Strike, but this is by no means bad. Overall, I would say that this is a more like firm setup of Light Strike. But yeah, you do get pretty good impact protection in the heel and some responsiveness and court feel out of this cushion setup. Overall, I would say that the cushion setup in this shoe is pretty good. So moving on to the materials, the D.O.N Issue 3 features a full textile upper, and that textile is, scattered throughout the whole entire shoe. And then on top of that, you do have some like rubber pieces right here for maybe durability / aesthetics, and then you do have like this fused material up here, but it's not just basic fuse. It feels like almost like rubberized, and it's thicker, and it feels pretty nice honestly for it being like this fused material. Around the ankle collar area right here, you do have like this neoprene material, and also the tongue is fairly thick as well. So overall, the material usage for the price point of the shoe is actually pretty good. I really have no complaints. In my opinion, the materials do get the job done in terms of that performance, and just to the touch, especially at this price point, I really can't complain. I would say that the materials on the D.O.N Issue 3 are actually pretty nice. So moving on to the fit, I would say that the D.O.N Issue 3 pretty much runs like every other Adidas model. I would recommend you all go down a half size, and I think you should be good. I'm a slightly wide footer, and I went down a half size, and I felt perfectly fine. Just one thing to note, it is a little bit tight, like up in this midfoot area right here, just like with the D.O.N Issue 2, but nowhere near as close to as tight as that. If you do have wide feet, just know that as you're sliding your foot into the shoe, you may feel, some pressure around this midfoot area, but personally for me, it wasn't really, painful or distracting or anything like that. So if you have slightly wide feet, I do think going down a half size is the way to go. Normal feet, go down half size, and then maybe if you have really wide feet, you may want to go true to size, but you may run into some other issues if you do that, which I'll get into later. But yeah, that's how I feel that these fit. I would say that the materials do lie pretty nicely over my feet. There is a little bit of bubbling up here in the toe box, but it's nothing too noticeable. And then, you know, the tongue and everything just really fits nicely over your feet. So overall, I would say that the fit in here is pretty good. Just be careful if you do have really wide feet. You may want to go true to size or just stay away from the shoe altogether. So moving on to the support, this is where I had some issues in the D.O.N issue 3. You know, I don't know what it is, but in the right shoe, my right shoe, I did have some heel slippage. My left shoe, I didn't have any, but it was just the right where I did have a slight heel slippage issue. Nothing to the point where I thought my shoe was just gonna fly off or anything like that, but it's noticeable. And you know, just having that in the back of your head that the shoe could slide off, or it feels like it is, it's just not a good feeling. And the heel slippage issue really never went away from me, but that is just my personal experience. Maybe not everyone else will have this issue. I don't know why it is for me, but always in some shoes that I play in, I have heel slippage in the right shoe and not the left. So honestly, there is a good chance that, you know, the heel slippage issue is just because of my foot shape. That's just something to keep in mind. However, everything else about the support on the shoe is good. The materials do a very good job of keeping you planted on this footbed. You have a fairly wide base with this shoe, so you won't be rolling over. I didn't have any side-to-side movement on the footbed. And then in terms of torsional rigidity and stability, you're covered there as well. There is a midfoot shank plate that you can kind of see through the middle of the bottom of the shoe. So yeah, outside of the heel slippage, I would say that the support is good in this shoe. That was the only issue I had. One thing that I do want to mention about the support though, is they include this elastic band on here, which, you know, does absolutely nothing. And well, I'll take that back. It does do something. It gets in the way of your laces when you're trying to lace up your shoes. So honestly, like if I were going to keep these, I'd probably just cut this off because it's really annoying. But yeah, that's just one annoying feature about the D.O.N issue 3 that I thought I'd mention. Outside of that, you know, like I said, I thought the support was good except for the heel slippage. So the D.O.N issue 3 retails for $110, and for $110, I would say that this is a pretty solid pickup. You know, as long as you consistently wipe and hopefully you don't get, you know, those very rare slip ups, you will really like these shoes. And also, you know, if you don't have the heel slippage, you should be good. Everything about the shoe is really nice except for that heel slippage. You're getting a pretty good performer. You know, the materials are great. The traction is overall pretty good except for those rare slip ups. And then the cushion, full length light strike. You pretty much know what you're going to get yourself into with light strike nowadays. So if you like light strike, you'll probably like it in the D.O.N issue 3. And then, you know, the fit, as long as you guys aren't really wide footers too, you should have no problems in this shoe. Honestly, I would say that overall this is a solid performer outside of the small little details that I described earlier. If you all wanted to pick up a pair of these, I would say go for it. I personally like these a little bit better than the D.O.N issue 2, especially because, you know, I can actually wear these for a longer time because of the narrowness in the midfoot in the D.O.N issue 2. If you're a Donovan Mitchell fan or just like the way the shoe looks, I'd say go for it. Pick up a pair. Let me know how these perform for you, and let me know if you have that heel slippage issue in the comments down below. If you have played in these, I'm very curious if it is just me. But yeah, that is just something to note. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. That's it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video like this again. Also, check out this video on my left and on my right. And that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.